We only live once, man. So just take the chance. Who cares if your back hurt? Anyway, today I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling really great. My plan is almost finalized. Applying the mess to something great. Working with the principle of patience, wisdom, control, application. You know what I found out today? I inverted the volume of my work, so today was leg day. And instead of doing high reps, I inverted the volume. So instead of doing 3 sets of 6, I did 6 sets of 3. You know? I did that on 2 exercises, 2 main exercises. The ones we're gonna apply the mass to, or rather towards achieving something big. So I did that in order to test the theory. You know, focused effort, you know, neural priming and all that, efficiency, and it felt really different. Since you don't get tired, there's no breakdown because of fatigue. There's no breakdown, so you kind of get a sense of the things that you usually miss when the fatigue is high. And training every day with crazy volume, of course the fatigue is high. The fatigue is always high. The recovery is always going to be less. Recovery is going to be less than the power you actually, because of the recovery, because of the fact that your recovery is tanked, your output is going to be a little, you know, you're going to subtract that shit. So you might be at 120% of strength, but because your recovery is at 80, you're at, I don't know, 70% of your strength, you know? And that's what I've been feeling lately. Anyway, so tried to work with the same weights that I usually do, and it felt great. I felt new connections, you know, new connections to my bracing. I felt like maybe I could find out some new avenues of improvement, of improving my skill, and I applied that to the squat too. So like I said, the squat been regressing lately, been feeling like shit, but because I tried to put my mind into just solely focusing on 3 reps, honing in and really focusing on the tightness of the upper back and the tightness of the bracing and of the breath. My spine and my hip took less load. It's like, because of the fact that my tightness is not up to par, it's not usually up to par, and since I didn't really take the time to focus on that upper back and bracing mechanism, some of that power leaked, some of that load, it kind of leaked towards certain joints. And so I think that's one of the main reasons why I always feel kind of weak in certain areas whenever the fatigue is high, you know? So by focusing on it, instead of doing 3 sets of 6 or 2 sets of 6 pause, I did 6 sets of 3, while bracing being the main focus. And that allowed me to alleviate some of the symptoms I had. allowed me to focus, to actually focus on pushing with my legs, on really understanding what goes on with my stance and my internal versus external rotation, etc. You know, the knees over toes concept, the extension of the knees and all that, the stability component to the glutes, everything, simply because of the fact that the tightness of my upper back and the bracing is up to par. You know, I feel great about the session. 6 sets of 3 on the deficit, huge deficit snatch grip, stiff leg lift, a lot of adjectives. Yeah, I think it's a stiff leg on RDL. I don't know. When my it's always stiff. My legs are always stiff. Back as straight as it can be. And 6 sets of 3 on the pause squats. Really Olympic style shit. It felt great. After that, I did some I think shrimp rows. Is that what he calls it? Shrimp rows. I did rows for the lower back basically, because I felt like something weird is going on, and I said just maybe I could it could be beneficial for me to work a little extra on those joints, as per the recommendation of Handsome Glime. It took some time to get used to, so I didn't understand the concept very well, but it filled out a little volume that I think from now on I'm gonna allocate to that movement in particular. After that, I did some Cossacks. I think I did 4 sets of 10, so 5 each leg, instead of 10. Different types of Cossacks. You know, you can target different areas of your legs, muscles that you actually don't use during the squat. You can target your adductors. You can target your groin area. You can target your hamstrings, and you can target your glutes. It depends on, first of all, where you put the weight, how the weight is distributed, and where you put the weight, and also whether your feet are turned this way or this way, etc. So I did four different ones. After that I was pretty much toast. I felt great about the session anyway, so I filled out the rest of the volume. I filled it out with bulky lunges. I think I did 100. I don't know, more. 100 walking lunges, no weight, just different kinds of lunges. Deep lunges, shallow lunges, upright lunges, side lunges to the side, you know, different kinds. So safe to say, everything is targeted in a very healthy way. I think I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep it just like this, man. I'm gonna be keeping it just like this, and it's gonna be perfect. Tomorrow I'm gonna do abs, calves, obliques. I'm gonna work lightly on internal and external rotation and whatnot, and some flexibility / mobility, and that's gonna be that. Anyway, I'm really not good with the camera angles. I took some videos of the first and the second movement. Well, I'm gonna put them or not, who cares? Anyway, nice catching up. See you tomorrow.